Good evening. It is Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you guys. How are you doing? Jump on in. Come on in. Come on in. It's good to see you guys. See, I'm going to move something here. Hold on just a second. Okay. So if you guys don't know, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and we're going to talk about insulin resistance tonight because that's what I do. I did a live in the Facebook group today, which is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, FYI. And I talked about something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I have not talked about this on a live for a while. I'm totally going to do this for you guys. So hold on. I want to fix something. So Instagram, I'm going to move you for just a second. Hold on. And try to fix something. I think I can. There we go. Okay, I'm fixing something over on TikTok. So there we go. All right. So anyway, in the group that we do, we chat all things insulin resistance. And at the beginning of every single month, I do a 5-day challenge. And so that you can like get your heart encouraged and get like tools in your toolbox and you can like take down that month, right? So we're going to take down blessings. Good to see you. Take down the month of May, right? Because what is after May? June. So what is after June? July? What, like we're heading into summer, right? And I know that people really want to get a handle on their weight. And if you don't know anything about my content, what the main thing that I talk about a lot is that I am so convinced that because of high insulin and high sugars, making it so that you cannot lose weight, that's the most frustrating thing for women. It just drives us absolutely bonkers. And in the group, when we were going through some of the slides and whatever, I love there's a doctor who talks about how obesity is not a calorie in, calorie out problem. This is a complex hormonal issue. Insulin is a hormone, cortisol is a hormone. And so anyway, it really fires me up because I feel like, I think for me today, it started with somebody sharing with me in my DMs just how she had an endocrinologist make her feel like she said she did not say it exactly this way, but basically she was saying I'm lazy and I'm just eating too much and that's my problem. And I said, I'm just so sorry because I totally understand what that feels like to just not have a normal conversation when it comes to, hormones and stuff. I feel like we're so unheard and I just hate that. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is something that kind of ended up in the webinar today. And webinar, that's a weird word. It really is not a webinar. It's my PowerPoint, the PowerPoint that we'd use in the Facebook group. And it's talking about a snack food that is making us fat. So I want to talk about this. So when I talk about insulin resistance, you have to understand, I didn't even know what it meant. Like I didn't even know the terminology, even though my dad was type 2, insulin dependent, died at 63. I was insulin resistant in my 20s, gestational diabetic with my first baby, hypoglycemic with my second baby. Still had no idea that that even existed. Waited for a full 20 years before I even did anything about it. Full 20 years in my 40s, still don't even know that that insulin is a hormone. Very, very naive, very unaware of how my body functioned, very ignorant to all of that. And so I'm just an Italian girl who figured things out. I do not have, any letters after my name or anything like that, but I did reverse engineer. And the reason why I reverse engineered stuff is because my dad, when he died at 63, he had a Lazy Susan full of medication. And I had one question. I mean, this was literally the day after he passed. I came into the kitchen at my mom's and she's crying. And she's like, why did I spend time complaining that he had so much of a mess with his medications? And the Lazy Susan was there with all of the meds. And I kind of just in a moment went, I thought this is how naive I was. I thought medicines were supposed to help you like reverse things. I thought medicines were supposed to heal you or help better. I mean, like I kind of went, And then that was kind of it because, again, very unaware of my own plight. 30 years old, I'm insulin resistant, but I'm not putting my pieces together at all. Being gestational diabetic made me 7 times more likely to become type 2. And I didn't know that. I had no idea. Nobody ever had that conversation with me. I took my blood 4 times a day during my pregnancy. And then after I delivered my baby, they tested my blood and they go, okay, good to go. And that was it. So anyway, so I say all of that just to say that now I just get freaking fired up when people get in my DMs and they tell me about how they were made to feel. And I'm like, okay, let's take off our glasses and let's put on a new pair of glasses. Let's look at weight loss. Let's look at, I just had another person in my DMs talking to me about the fact that she's been on a weight program for the last year. And she's only like a weight management program through, I'm assuming maybe a medical system. I don't know. I don't know the details. So I don't mean to pass bad information. But she said she's lost 7 pounds and she's so dang frustrated. I'm like, okay, let's put on a new pair of glasses and let's talk about insulin resistance. So the reason why this particular snack food is really, really like messing with our fat is because when you're raising your sugars and you are raising your insulin, and the insulin can't get the sugar into the cell for energy and for fuel, the insulin is a fat storing hormone, so it's all turning to fat. So I'm going to talk about, I'm going to pull up my little thing here. I love Maria Emmerich. If you guys don't know who Maria Emmerich is, she's a really great resource. And this is basically coming from her, it's either her website or one of her books. I have a lot of her cookbooks. And she says, many of our clients come to us after trying WW, counting points. They find that it worked for a while, but now they've reached a weight plateau and can't lose weight. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. That just happens to be the preface, the premise, the impetus. Counting points isn't helpful for your biochemistry. Saving up all of your points for a milkshake isn't going to enhance your physique. Even if you eat only 800 calories a day. Hold on, I lost my place. I'll find it. Even if you only eat 800 calories a day, those calories should not be coming from trans fat and sugar. Like, we don't understand the science. Here we go. Here we go. Listen up. We do not understand the science behind giving 5 cups of plain popcorn only 1 point when the 5 cups of popcorn becomes more than 9 teaspoons of sugar in your blood. Every 4 grams of carbohydrate becomes 1 teaspoon of sugar in your blood. Every 4 grams of carbohydrates becomes 1 teaspoon of sugar in your blood. That sugar increases insulin, the fat storing hormone, and kicks in other hormones that changes your biochemistry, which causes more cravings for carbohydrates. And so there you go. By the way, if you're on replay, let me know. I would love to know where you're coming in from. That's always really, really cool to me. Julie says, you helped me get on track and go the rest of the way. 8 more pounds to lose. Yes, Julie, you can do it all while eating coconut cream pie. Really, you can. Really, you can. I'm so glad. I'm so, so glad. I feel like this is what happens to us. These are the stories that are in our brains, right? Or they're coming to us. Mine came to me from being a little girl and being Italian, and then we were told to eat, mangia, right? Eat. And I talk about that a lot because it was really ingrained in me. And we ate for happiness and we ate for sadness. We just ate for emotions, period. But we get told things like, it's all about balance. And this is what fired me up today in the Facebook group. And so this is when I knew I was going to do this because I just get fired up. And we get told, it's all about balance. It's all about balance. Like, just have a little here and a little there and whatever. Well, okay. I understand the concept. I really, really do. But you see, once you enter insulin resistant land, you're just in a different world. You're just going to have to change a few things. But the news that I want to tell people, like I want to shout it from the mountaintops. I thought I had to give up being a foodie. My culture created a foodie. I'm a foodie. Like, Show me where to get the best steak available. Show me where to get the best seafood available, right? Like I'm a foodie. In TikTok, you guys can see my picture up there. That's actually we were in Phoenix last year, and at a really nice place, and they served amazing shrimp, and I'm like, that's what I wanted, right? But I didn't know that things that were ingrained in my brain, like plain popcorn out of an air popper without any butter. See, the butter is the problem. No, it's not. It's the corn. It's the corn that turns into sugar. And so when you're told that you can have 5 cups, that's a huge bowl full, and it's only going to be 1 point, how many cups are you going to eat? Right? I'm just saying, like, when I did points, anyway, okay, I'll just keep going. But what happens is people say, that's not sustainable to eat, because now what I do is I teach grain-free, sugar-free. Okay. And people will say, that's not sustainable. And I want to just yell, BS. Yes, it is. I'm 59 years old. I'm not on any meds. I do not ache when I wake up in the morning. I feel amazing. I can get on the floor with my grandbabies. Not only is this sustainable, but man, as you start to feel better and better and better, you're just like, whoa, like you can't talk me out of it anymore. So I don't even care. Like, just think about it for a second. Track with me on this one. Like, what if instead of eating, and I'm actually very, okay, I've gone from a 2X down to a large in my 50s, post-menopause, post-cycle stopping. So that's kind of like where I had to go on my own food journey. I had to go on my ingredient trade out journey. That's what we're doing in the Facebook group this week. You can still jump in there. It's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I'm just saying, like, I had to go on that journey for sure. But now what I know is this: you love 0 carb tortillas and you eat whole food except for that. And you lost 155 pounds. Good for you. Most people don't do that. And being grain free, I just don't ache. So that's just a piece of the puzzle of when you don't do grains. But you know what? Good for you. That is so freaking phenomenal. Like, it really is. Anybody who can get their weight down like that, more power to you, for real. And so basically, not knowing that, oh man, like my idea of a really good night was buttered theater popcorn, and you buy Milk Duds and you eat it all at the same time, because then it's chocolate caramel popcorn. And because when you're a sugar addict, I was such a sugar addict. Oh my gosh. Those are the types of things that just kind of, whatever, bring you comfort, bring you, joy, and now what I understand is, had I just sat down and maybe like, had I, had almonds or sun seeds or something like that to trade out. And even though now, if I overeat almond flour or too many nuts, etc., like, it stalls my weight loss, but still, it doesn't make me ache. Does that make sense? Is anybody resonating with this? Do you understand? Like, you don't have to eat the popcorn. You could eat nuts instead. You don't have to eat the white flour. You can actually use an almond flour. You really, Melissa, I really need to chat with you. I am new to you, and I'm so shocked and so interested in everything I am sharing and teaching. Melissa, will you please message me? Message me. I don't know if you're on my business Facebook page or my personal Facebook page or whatever, but you can message me and I will chat with you. Like, this is what I do. This is what I do. I'm super, super passionate. I'm very opinionated, and a little obnoxious sometimes about the whole situation. I feel like I just get really tired I don't get tired. That's the wrong thing to say. I think that it's really sad that we get a lot of misinformation. And one of the people that I was talking to is a critical care nurse. I don't know why I get connected to nurses like I do, but I just do. Like, God just brings them to me. But the thing is that I think it's because they also have a high stress job. So not only is their insulin high, but their cortisol is high. Insulin, hormone, cortisol, hormone, belly fat. Yes. Yes. That's how this happens. And so we can rein it in. So I'll give you a few steps here in just a second. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything. Thank you so much, you guys on TikTok. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you so, so much. Dopamine from sugar, Julie. I know. Every 4 grams of carbs becomes a teaspoon of sugar. Thanks for putting that down. Yep. If you eat sugar or wheat flour, your arthritis goes wild and you can't sleep due to the pain. I know. And I really, it's one of the mantras kind of that I talk about a lot is gluten-free is not good enough. Not when you're dealing with certain things. Now, I'm not saying this is for, because people are like, well, what do you mean? Did God make bad food? No. He was perfect. He made amazing food. Guess who messed it up? And again, once you cross over into insulin resistant land, it's just a different land. That's all. You just have to recognize it. So here are a couple of things that you can do like right away to make a difference in your own insulin resistance journey. Okay. You walk with a walker. Wow, Vamba, 1 to 1.5 hours daily. Almond flour tortillas. Yes. So Vamba, there is a brand. I actually just picked some up at Costco, and I'm going to be really honest, you guys. I bought them for my husband because he doesn't have, I mean, his going gluten-free actually is because he is very sensitive to gluten now. He has like a gluten insensitivity that he kind of created. And he just realized that's what was kind of breaking him out, like kind of whatever rashiness. And so I thought, well, I will get those for him. But if I sat and ate them all, it would super stall out my weight. However, that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I think it's called Sieta, Cieta, Sieta. And it's they were at Costco, almond flour tortillas. So there you go. That's a really good, they're good. Hi, Regina. Good to see you. Welcome. Okay. So here are some things that you can do right now. The first thing is, what I talk about a lot is, oh, Vamba, you're so inspiring. You guys, you have to listen to this. And I'm going to tell you, 155 pounds down in 9 months. And she couldn't even walk 30 feet to her mailbox. Good for you. That's fantastic. I feel like I'm missing I feel like things are skipping on me. So if I don't see a comment, that's why it's just kind of skipping. But one of the things that I did, okay, I always talk about supplementation. I started with that. That's not the food conversation, but that's where I started because I didn't think I could trade out my foods. That's a whole different conversation. That's about the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity, etc. When it came to food, one of the first things that I did was I actually asked myself this question. I began kind of assessing my own habits. And I'm in Minnesota, and in church, we would always have like potlucks in the basement of the church, etc. And I asked myself, if I'm standing at a potluck, I know you guys might think I'm crazy or silly, but this is for real. I'm not making this up. I'm like, okay, if I'm standing at a potluck, what is the food that I want to eat first? What is that food? Because there's so much. And I really did have this feeling like, well, I just like everything. Side story. Hey, movie mama, thank you for the hearts. You're so awesome. Side story. So I'm in college, and at the time, Domino's Pizza gave every single new student that year in 1983 a Domino's coupon, and you could order a large for $1.50. So as you can imagine, thank you. We all kind of we would order our pizzas, and then we would share them, and then we would order pizza. So we literally had pizza every night for probably the first month, right? Because we all rotated whatever and shared. Anyway, and so it was just a constant thing. And people would either get like pepperoni and black olive, or they would get sausage and mushroom. And those were kind of common. I don't know why I remember this. Don't ask me why this is in my head, but it is. Isn't that interesting? And I just remember thinking to myself, well, I like everything. I just like everything. And so no matter what people would say, well, do you want this? Sure. Yeah, I like that too. I like that too. And that was always my answer. So fast forward, I, start to have this thought process about, what do I actually like? Now, do you guys remember the movie, The Runaway Bride? And he says to her, you don't even know what eggs you like because you just like the eggs of the person you're with. And she's like, that's not true. I do too. And then at the very end, do y'all remember this? Am I the only one? She says, she comes back and she goes, I think she said poached. I don't remember, but I think she did. I think she came back and she said, I like poached eggs. I made every kind of egg, and now I know what I actually like. Hey, Sherry, good to see you. And that's, whatever. She did the assessing of herself. She did what she needed to do. Well, that's kind of what I did in my 50s. So I started targeted supplementation in my upper 40s, and that starts to bring down my insulin, my sugars, my cravings calms my mind about food. I didn't even know why. I could explain it to you now, but I didn't know it at the time. And now I'm able to think. So I'm thinking about food, and I'm thinking about what do I like and what do I want to do about that. And because my cycle stops, and when your cycle stops, Lord have mercy, fat shows up in places you weren't really excited about. Woo! So I'm like, oh, okay, I got to trade out my foods. I got to figure this out. And I kind of got rid of processed food, asked myself that question, and I thought, I'm going to figure out how to make that recipe. And for me, it was the 7-layer bar. Now, again, in weight loss mode, I'm not making a keto 7-layer bar all the time because I would eat it all the time. My daughter and I used to make bar pans filled with, Twix bars at Christmas time. And that was just so, so good, right? And I could just eat the whole pan. So I know for me, what I don't have in my house on a regular basis. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what those things are for you, that you just go and purchase as a treat when you need to. Like, for instance, I don't keep Lily's chocolate. Have you all heard of Lily's chocolate? Lilys. It is sweetened with stevia, and they have really good options. And you can even go to Walmart and go to the baking aisle. Here's another tip for you. Go to the baking aisle and look at the Lily's chips. Now, the peanut butter ones have crappy ingredients, not going to lie. I don't know why they threw seed oils in on that one. Very disappointing. So I just don't buy that one. But you can go ahead and that's not true. I still have purchased it. I just really try to stay away from that one because even though I like it, but I'll do the white chocolate because I really like white chocolate. People who say to me, but I'm such a sweet tooth. Oh, Sherry, you're very sweet. Thank you. She's just saying she likes my hair, and it's been a journey. So I had it cut and I went really short. I chose to go really short. And then I immediately went, I can't do it because I can't put it up and I can't do stuff with it. So anyway, thank you. You're very sweet. And so I've just learned how to trade things out, and I know things that I can't keep in my house. So those Lily chocolates, oh, that's a good question, Shelly. I'll answer that here for you. That's a really good treat for me. So when I go on a business conference, I'll just keep a bag of like chips in my purse. Do you know that I've even done this? Okay. Now you're not going to judge me, right? You're not going to judge me. You're not going to think I'm weird. I've even done this where I've kept Lily's chocolate, like Lily's, it happened to be white chocolate, the chips in my purse. When I've gone out to a fancy dinner with friends for like an incentive, like whatever, like top performer dinner thingamajig, like here in the cities. And when everybody else gets their fancy schmancy dessert, like the dessert that you go, what is that? It's so gorgeous. It's so chocolate. It's so caramely. It's so cheesecake. It's so amazing. And you're like, and I just keep maybe white chocolate because white chocolate is the sweetest. And I'll keep it in my purse and I'll just grab, and I won't, nobody else knows. Nobody, they'll know now though. They'll know now that I have done this, which is okay. I'm okay with it. I can handle it. They're very nice people. They will not be mean to me. But I'm just telling you, those are the things that I do because I know see, you can't talk me out of it now. So during the times that I was transitioning my foods, I always tell people, I just, you know what, in the line that I've used and I still use to this day, That's where the trio comes from. And the other pieces of supplementation that I talk about, I do have a carb blocker, and I kept carb blocker in my pockets for years, you guys. I didn't transfer overnight. Did you hear me tell you I'm Italian? I didn't transfer overnight. Transfer. It took me a while, but this is what I knew. And this is the next tip I want to give you. Learn to the best of your ability to do this without shame. Really, really work on that. If you don't hear anything else from me tonight, hear that, because you can't heal a body in shame. I was taught to eat, manja, being Italian. And then when you gain weight, you're told that, oh, well, you're getting a little pudgy there, girl. And then when you lose weight, don't you be getting too skinny now. I mean, it's just a mind game. It's a mind mess is what it is. And the truth is that I didn't decide to have those tracks in my head. I didn't choose those. Those came to me. Those were given to me. Does that make sense? Does that connect in your own brain? Like maybe you can understand what it's like to have maybe food pushers in your life, food bullies in your life, right? So allow yourself to go, oh, I was told that. Okay, whatever. Well, I'm going to make a different choice now. So I'm going to work on, trying out whatever, transitioning my ingredients and whatever. And I'm going to do things without shame. So what would that look like in a scenario? Let's go back to having carb blocker in your pockets. You go to a social event, you go to a Christmas party or a wedding. Weddings are coming up. Let's talk weddings, a graduation party. You've got things coming up right now, like at the end of May. A lot of people are making, big barbecues for the graduations and all of the things, right? Or the weddings with the really nice food. And maybe what you do is you put carb blocker in your purse or in your pockets. Mine were always in my pockets because then you could just easily grab 3 of them and be good. And basically what that'll do is it stops 500 calories of sugar from entering your bloodstream when you eat. Okay. Now, if carbs are 4 calories a carb, that's what you're looking at. 4 carbs. 4 calories per carb. So if you're eating something that's really high carb, just take 3. Okay. And if you need to know about this on Facebook, you guys can put carb blocker and I can get you that information. On Instagram, you would have to message me, and on TikTok, the number that's right there, it's there so that you can just text list to the number, because then I can get you information. And that is, you can text me back. Once you get information, once that gets sent to you, you can talk to me. Like that's my texting number. So I can text you back. Okay. But then you know what, if you know that you're going to not avoid that wedding cake because this is new to you and your world, just have carb blocker in your pockets. It's okay. And then no shame. No, don't allow that voice in your head to say, yeah, couldn't do it, could you? You never did have any willpower. You're kind of such a loser. Don't do that. You tell yourself, I'm doing this journey now, no shame, and wipe it off of you. Okay. That's a really, really big piece of the puzzle that I want people to get into their spirit, into their mind. Okay. Now, carb blocker is a natural way to stop a sugar spike. So it literally, that's what it is. And if you want me, I can send it to you. I can send you a link. But there is the egg white powder in Walmart. So if you don't know, I make egg white bread, Maria Emmerich egg white bread. And I have my own version of that. Anyway, you can also text recipes to that number, recipes, plural, and the egg white bread is in there. Well, it uses an egg white protein powder. And I have purchased it. So that's why I'm answering this question for her. I have purchased it off of Walmart.com, but I have not seen it in Walmart. I have also purchased it off of Amazon.com. Where else? I think that's it. I do know that y'all down south, I've heard people buy it at Publix, and I wonder if it isn't in some of my grocery stores up here. I just haven't taken the time to look, to be honest. But there's a grocery store called Fresh Time, and I wonder if it wouldn't be in there. But it is a great alternative. Class reunion, Sherry. Yep, that's a carb blocker moment, and it's okay. It's just okay. Just don't get me wrong. I wish that everybody could feel what I feel right now, being completely grain free and sugar free. And I do wish that everybody could feel what it feels like to be in a place where I'm just not tempted anymore because not because, oh, I'm so granola now, or I eat perfect ingredients all the time. No, I don't. No, I don't. I know that there are seed oils and, things in the restaurant, and I know there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. But when you are on a healing journey, and insulin resistance is a healing journey, you have to have way, way, way more good moments than not in order to actually heal. I mean, I'm just going to tell you the truth. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Because the journey, you're just prolonging your own journey. However, there are those moments, and we want to do things without shame. It's really, really important. Yes, through Facebook Messenger. You're in Tennessee. Love Tennessee. Very, very good. One of my girlfriends lives out there. Yes, in Messenger, Vamba. That's perfect. Or you can put it right there in the comments and I'll respond to it there. Let's see. That was a good one though, Sherry. That was really good. So basically, the tips that I gave you tonight are: ask yourself, what food is it that you want to trade out? What is it? What's your kryptonite? What is so important to you that you just, wow, it's really hard. It's really hard to pass up, or you think about it a lot, or whatever. What's your go-to kryptonite? And then find the alternative. The bakery aisle by the slices and products. Oh, Margaret knows. Oh, the egg white protein powder is in the bakery aisle. Margaret, you just told me something really important for me to check into. Thank you for sharing that. So think about what it is that you love so much. Put it in the comments if you want to. I'd love to know, what is the food that really just, it's your jam, so to speak. No pun intended. And then go out and find an alternative. And the easiest way to find that alternative is to go to Google and to type in whatever it is. For instance, let's say I typed in 7-layer bar, and then before, good night, Julie, melatonin. They make the food addictive with their chemicals and artificial crap. Yes, they do, Julie. You are very smart. Good night. Enjoy your melatonin sleepy time. I love melatonin too. The problem is that makes me feel drunk, so I don't do it. But you really do shut down. So if I put in the 7-layer bar into Google, in front of that, I'm going to put keto, Keto. Now I know you hear about keto and maybe you have thoughts about it, whatever. However, what it will give you is it'll give you a grain-free and a sugar-free option of how to make something for yourself. That's what it's going to do for you. And that's why that's really important. Okay. Because I know that there are many different thought processes about, whatever, eating grain and whatever, all the keto treats that you can get at the store. Many of them, most of them are really, really bad, and they're just a joke anyway. There's no regulation, right, about terminology. So they can say whatever they want, but you're eating something and you need to be thinking, how much is this going to spike my blood sugar? Because if it spikes my sugar and it calls on insulin and my cells are resistant to insulin, then that insulin is really, really good at its job. Do you know what the number one job is going to be? I mean, I shouldn't say it that way, because I mean, there could be more than one answer, but the answer I'm giving right now is insulin is a fat storing hormone. And that's why you're so frustrated. So you do have to stop the spike, and it can't be about fad dieting and fad information and bad information. I mean, when I'm talking about keto, I'm talking about whole food, grain-free, sugar-free, not processed stuff that you get in the store that slaps keto on the name. Because I'm telling you, you're eating all that keto cereal, you're eating all those the keto treats and whatever, and you're not losing weight and you're thinking it's because keto doesn't work. No, they've just suckered you is what they've done. It's called marketing, and they're really good at it. And so they put all junky ingredients in there that slows down your liver and your metabolism. I mean, it's just frustrating. So instead, I focus very much on meat, eggs, vegetables, green. But yet I know that like spaghetti squash is yellow, but green for the most part. Fruit is berries. I really don't veer from that. I do just only eat berries, and I make them organic, even if they have to be organic. And greens should be organic. Even if they have to be frozen. So those are the things I'm a stickler on, except if I go, let's say, to a Mother's Day, restaurant and they have strawberries on the buffet, I'm not going to ask if they're organic. They're not going to be organic, right? But it's like, that's where, my body can do its job, right? My liver is actually functioning. So I'm okay. I'm not going to freak out about that. And I'm not going to have any shame. So I'm not talking about being religious. But anyway, so you can trade out your food. Ask yourself about one ingredient that you can trade out. Do things, assess yourself and what is triggering you about your food and why maybe you don't have something around and how that is making you feel. Ask yourself the stories that you've been told in your brain that are still there that you need to overcome and get rid of. Like, just trade those out. Like, what are those sentences? Are those sentences that you should finish your plate because there are starving children in other countries? Is the sentence that, if you say no, you're going to offend somebody? Like, that's the biggest offense, is that you say, no, thank you. Were you bullied and pushed into food choices your entire life? These are real things, right? So just assess them and be like a third party person to that and go, well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, I'm just going to not believe that anymore. Like, I'm going to work on that, and we're just not going to allow that. And I'm not going to have any shame that I still have that, it's okay. We still have the emotions about stuff. It's okay. And then oh, Diane, I don't think so. Hey, Vamba, can you still hear me? I have somebody that's thinking that maybe the sound is off, and that could be, but let me know. Vamba, that'd be great if you did. Oh, egg white protein powder recipe for air fried tortillas. Okay. I think I want to know what Vamba's talking about. Are you talking about like making the egg white protein powder and using gelatin? You can hear me, Shelly. Okay, thank you, Shelly. Diane, I think it's you're on mute. Do I count the grams of meat? So many conflicting on protein needs. Okay, I will. Let me talk about protein. That's another really good tip. Yes, thank you so much for telling me. You're amazing. I appreciate you. Yes, okay. So because I think that, do you know the recipe like off the top of your head? I would love to know. I haven't had super great success in making them, and I would love to. I haven't really, I'll be honest. It's not like I've tried super hard, but I do love the egg white protein powder bread, and I've used that now for a very, very long time. But anyway, so protein. So these are my thoughts on protein. Oh God, I have so many thoughts. Minimum of 100 grams a day. Minimum. You have to maintain your lean muscle mass. You just have to, girls, because you do not want, your biggest concern as we get older is that we will not have stability. I took care of my mom with dementia for 5 years with my sister, and that was our biggest concern. She lived with my sister. She lived with me. She did live in some facilities before the shutdown, and then we took her out immediately. But we always told her, even though, because she could understand us, but it's not like she would necessarily remember. But in the moment, she would is be like, Mom, you have to be able to keep, you have to be able to keep on walking and moving, so that, because we can't, if you're dead weight, we can't carry you, right? Like, we need you to function. We need your muscles to be strong. And so think about that now, whatever age you are. It's not too late. Just start right now. So I'm 59. So muscle helps you maintain lean muscle mass. Muscle helps you to lose weight faster. Protein helps you to maintain lean muscle mass. The amino profile in beef, for instance, it matches almost identically to the amino profile in your own muscle. Phenomenal, extremely nutritionally dense. So a minimum of 100 grams of protein per day, but it's not that hard. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's not. You could have a chicken breast that's like 42 grams. So don't get like all caught up in that thinking that that's really hard. Yeah, MD says, yeah, you know what? See, I just don't agree, Vamba. And I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. So you have to follow your own doctor. I just have my own experiences. My dad was on kidney dialysis for 2 years until he died. And then my mother had renal cancer and had one kidney removed. And they told her that she should be scared of protein. And so she became a carboholic. And then she got dementia, which is type 3 diabetes, insulin resistance of the brain. So I'm in a completely different camp. And so that may not be for you, and that is totally okay. But I would say go look up Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube, Berry. Dr. Ken Berry, protein kidneys, and just listen to what he has to say, or Dr. Eric Berg, ERIC, Maria Emmerich. Dare I say the studies aren't there? They're not there. But you have to do what you believe is best in conjunction with your doctor for sure. And in fact, I would even go further than that for when it comes to protein. People will say, try to get to your goal weight in protein grams. I really do believe that's a very good idea. And this is what's going to happen when you focus on protein every time you open your mouth. Like whether you're having tuna fish or a chicken breast, or you're having eggs, or you're having egg white, like you're making, I have a sugar-free chocolate pudding. And again, you can text recipes to this number up here. And the number for you guys, I should put it in my, I should put it there. There's a number that you can text. So if you go, you can do it right there. Instagram, it's on my profile. And for you guys, I don't think I can post a comment. I'll put it right here. I'll put the phone number right here. If you text recipes, yes, I can do this. Here we go. See, I learned something new every day. And I'll put recipes text. And the chocolate pudding is in there, and so is the egg white bread. Enter. Okay, so there's a sugar-free chocolate pudding recipe that is phenomenal, made out of egg whites. High protein, sugar-free, amazing, creamy, gorgeous, yummy. So protein doesn't have to always look only one way. It can come many ways. But do you remember the marketing, the incredible edible egg? Well, it was true. It's true. But things have been demonized that are actually really, really important to us, and especially as building blocks for women. When you begin to eat more protein and good fat for your hormones, I'm not talking high fat. I'm talking about protein being more position, in a higher position than the fat. And the fat is the avocado oil, the olive oil, the coconut oil, the butter, the lard, the ghee, right? Enough to keep you full and hormones happy, brain happy. And then, of course, because we're in insulin resistant land, remember, we crossed over. We crossed over from normal metabolic land that we were born in into insulin resistant land. That's why we're going to do things differently to turn things back. But you can still be a foodie. You can still love the foods that you eat. And once you're finding that balance again, because your hormones are so happy and they're loving you, and your tummy is full and satiated, and you're not hangry because your blood sugar is doing this all day long. Because that's what protein will do for you when you prioritize that. And being grain-free, sugar-free makes it so much easier, and it's just amazing. Yeah. It's just really good. So anyway, does anybody have any questions about any of that? I would love to know. But otherwise, I think I don't have my testimony on me right now. Shoot. For you on TikTok, if you text list to the number, on the second button are the testimonies for the trio. Go and pay attention to the testimonies, please, because those are the people with type 2 who give me data, and it's very helpful. And then you can finally lose weight. It's very, very helpful. And this has been over a decade for me. So this isn't something I started last week. Instagram, there's a highlight bubble at the top of the page. It says testimonies. It's pink. Go look at that and you'll see the testimonies. And then you can always message me. In fact, you can text me at that number up there, TikTok, or right there, you guys, the one that I put in there. And it's very helpful. You can text that number, Vamba. Or website is my first and last name.com. You can go there. You fast? Very good. So Vamba, so you would put, Mary, you would text this phone number here that I posted for you guys. I apologize. Well, no, I'll send it to you. I can send you the link because you're putting it in Facebook and it will stay there. So we're good to go. But I want people to get their hopes up. I really, 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 really do. Like, get your hopes up. And when you look on my site, it's one page. It's super easy. Vamba, I'm so glad. I do have a Facebook group that you can find, the Facebook group blue button, and get in there. I did day 1 of our 5-day challenge. We do it every single month. And it is meant to do a few things. Help you with ingredient trade outs, show you my pantry and my fridge and what that looks like, explain targeted supplementation and why it fixes you from the inside out, how that is even possible. And the short answer is that when you give your body the raw materials that it needs, that's how you are able to finally have success. And when your insulin and your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. How do we not know this, right? We're not taught this. So the hamster wheel continues. And just think about that now. Let's go back to the beginning of the conversation. If you're eating 5 cups of plain popcorn thinking that they're only worth 1 point, but they are actually worth 9 teaspoons of sugar in your bloodstream, I'm sorry, you're never going to lose weight. Not if you're insulin resistant. If you're not, maybe. But remember, you changed lands. You went into a different territory. So we have to do things a little bit differently. That's all. And it's not a big deal. Selena, I love you so much. But when I turn off the live, it's going to go away and I won't know that you put that. So there's a phone number right there. Text that phone number list and you'll get an immediate answer. However, then you can text me and ask me questions. Like, I'll talk to you. Okay. So you just have to go to the phone number because they just go away. You're in a different country now. Yes, I understand. It's the only way that I can, like, it's when you cross the border, you just have to do things differently. And it's not, that's it. What it does, if you can make that connection that it's a different country, a different land, then what happens is you stop asking if all of the advice that's out there makes sense to you. Well, I'm supposed to have balance. I should be able to eat this and I should be able to eat that. Or, God made all the food and it's fine and all of these things. And it's all about balance. And it's all about blah, blah, blah. All of that noise shuts down because you're looking at it through one lens now. One lens. Insulin resistance is what I'm putting in my mouth going to spike my sugars. I don't care what it is. That's the issue. It's just different. And it's okay. So TikTok, if you want to stay connected with me, hit the follow button because otherwise I'm going to disappear into the algorithm universe and you may not see me for a year. Now you're going back for a twin sister, adrenal gland shutdown. Please pray for her. Vamba, when you message me, or I think that was you, remind me of your adrenal glands because that was the other piece of my puzzle. So I needed to deal with my brain fog in my 40s. And so I started using adaptogenic herbs. I don't know if you've ever used those, but they help support your adrenals, and your adrenals, they balance out your hormones. And I did not know it was going to do that for me. I was Mrs. Unaware. I was disconnected from my body. I was addicted to sugar. And so I started taking adaptogenic herbs, and I'll tell you, okay, good. it turned so much around for me hormonally. I get balanced my hormones. So for anybody, like if you guys text and you get list up there, the TikTok peoples, there's a button on that site and it's called like menopause and gut health. Look at the purple packet on there. Those are the adaptogenic herbs. And Instagram, you're frozen, meaning I'm not frozen, but your comments won't move for me. So I apologize if I'm missing comments. Dang it. I hate it when that happens. But anyway, but ask me questions. Like I want people to hear that. So on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, I wonder, okay, so that's on my business page. On my business page, I posted the number that you can text recipes to get the PDF. You can text list to get the supplement list, including the trio, which are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. That's where I started. And then you guys can do that on Facebook, and it's right up here for people on TikTok. And then for you guys, Instagram, it's on my, because I don't think I can comment on my own here on Instagram. Can I do that? Maybe I can. But you can go to my profile and my number is there too. But I really do encourage people, like that's what I do is I talk to people. 4778. There we go. There it is. Look at there. I'm really getting things figured out, aren't I? That's very good. Very helpful. So anyway. All right. If anybody doesn't have any questions, I'm actually going to go sit in the hot tub with my husband. So we played pickleball yesterday, like 3 games, and I could use the hot tub right now. I'm just learning. I don't know how to play pickleball. I'm learning. I know what the kitchen is anyway. That's the beginning of something. Can you just message me? You want to all of the above? You can message me, Vamba. You can message me. And I will pause and I will take a look and see. But yeah, mainly I do 2 things. I talk about targeted supplementation for insulin resistant because you need to go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. And if you are looking to jumpstart your body to get it to have that insulin come down, the sugars come down, get your cravings and your appetite under control, to calm your mind, get your metabolism going, etc. That's what the trio is. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, I talk about eating grain-free, sugar-free. And I do that a lot. Instagram's so funny with the balloons. I do that a lot in the Facebook group. I have some in my content, but I do it a lot in the Facebook group because I want to like get you resourced to learn how to trade out your ingredients. Don't be afraid, and recognize that you can still be a foodie and love the food that you eat. Okay. So if you want to be encouraged and resourced, there's over 3,000 women now in this group. I just started the challenge today, and I'll go through Friday. Yeah. Susan, that's a good question. So Susan is asking, she has autoimmune issues. Are medicinal mushrooms okay to take? It's not my wheelhouse, Susan. I'm going to say, let's pretend we're just friends having coffee, because I'm certainly not a doctor. In my opinion, I would assume they are. Like, I think so, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how that does affect. What I do know about autoimmune issues is that the people who have had so much success, I'm going to be super honest, and I know that it seems to go so against conventional thought process that people just kind of poo-poo it. I've seen people put things into remission by going carnivore. Keto, like a good clean keto, carnivore. And they kind of like bend over into that carnivore land a little bit because it's so low inflammation. Also diabetic, yeah. It's just so low inflammation. And so that's why I do talk a lot about grain-free, sugar-free, because that is a very good step. When I'm teaching keto, I'm not teaching fad keto. I'm just not. I'm not interested in anything that's processed that I'm going to talk to you about. I mean, I take 1 protein shake occasionally. I would, but it's clean. It's sweetened with stevia. It's a good one. But other than that, real food, not processed food, and really low carbohydrates and really low inflammation so that you can turn things back around, because you really can, So again, my best testimonies come from my type 2 customers who give me their data. They tell me their blood sugar levels. They tell me that their morning sugars went from 180 down to 150s in 2.5 months. And that dawn phenomenon isn't always easy. And then after 3 years of not being able to lose 1 pound, losing 14 pounds just like that. Because again, you have to get your body revved up from the inside out. It's just raw materials, you guys. That's why this isn't rocket science. You don't need a degree. Okay, I'm going to not say that. You don't have to have a rocket science degree to work with something that's not terminal. I'm just saying. I'm super passionate. I told you that. I'm super passionate about this. My dad, when he died of type 2 diabetes and he was on dialysis, Wednesday night, he's throwing up in the toilet like he did every single day that he had dialysis, 3 days a week. And he said to my sister, this is no way to live. And by that time, he was worn out. He had already had quadruple bypass surgery. He had already had pacemaker, kidney dialysis for 2 years. He did it all, you guys. Insulin dependent, injections in his belly twice a day. He was tired. 36 hours, he was gone. He gave up. He was done. Cholesterol. Yep. I don't believe I don't believe what they've told us. So it's my own conversation. But again, I'm going to refer you all to Dr. Ken Berry, Berry, Dr. Eric Berg, Eric, Maria Emmerich. I believe that what we've been told is a farce. It's not true. It was meant to put us on meds. Because when you don't have it, number one, your hormones are very, very sad. That's why many women, once they get put on a STAT thingamajig, they also get prescribed an anti-sadness. Because when you take cholesterol down, your hormones do not fare well because they need that cholesterol. So it's being taken away from you. Number two, your brain needs it. And your body needs it so much to be firefighters inside of your arteries that your liver creates it. There you go, Vamba. There you go. Barbara O'Neill and Ken Berry. Good girl. There you go. We have to become our own advocates. We have to. What choice do we have anymore? We are more obese than we've ever been. We're sicker than we've ever been. And we are on more meds than we've ever been. And yet here we are, a first world nation. How do we not question this? It is good for the brain. Mary. Yep. Hi, Celia. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm just telling you. We have got to start to question things. And that's kind of where I'm at in my world. When my mom had dementia these last 5 years, she passed away a year ago. I really woke up. I really woke up to a lot of things. I feel like we did a very good job of taking care of her because we did things opposite of what they told us to do in all cases. And when she was in facilities, they fed her so poorly, meaning sugar at every turn. It was obnoxious. We just pulled her out. Yep, because we don't need to be sicker and we don't need to have more meds prescribed and we don't need higher doses. So there you go. I'm going to go sit in the hot tub for a while. You guys have a super blessed night. Text me if you need anything. You can message me in Messenger. You can DM me on Instagram. You can message me. Text list up here and you're going to get the list and you can find the Facebook Blue button. You can find the testimonies. You can find all of the good things. Good night, movie mama. So good to see you. And you can always text recipes, plural, to that number. And I put it in the comments on Instagram and Facebook. And you will get a PDF that has my sugar-free chocolate pudding in it. Actually, and it came from Maria Emmerich. I just tweaked it. That's all. I don't create recipes. I'm not the recipe creator. I'm the recipe tweaker. There you go. Have a super blessed night, and I will see you guys again, probably Wednesday night. All right. We'll see you later. Blessings, Vamba. You're awesome. God is using you too, Vamba, sharing your testimony. For real. Good night.